Alright, welcome back to Partitioning a Line Segment, Part 2. We're going to do a second example here, but just a quick refresher on what we did in the first example. We first had to decide where we were going to place point Q so that the distance from A to Q, the ratio of that to the distance from Q to B, was 2 parts to 3 parts. So since we were dividing into a ratio of 2 to 3, we needed a total of 5 parts altogether so that 2 of them could be placed up here, 3 of them could be placed down here. So in order to divide this line segment into 5 equal sized parts, we had to divide its horizontal component and its vertical component into 5 parts each separately. So first we found its horizontal distance, which was 5. And then we divided that by 5 to get 1, meaning that each of our smaller pieces was going to be 1 across, or 1 over. And then we found our vertical distance, which was 7. And then we divided that by 5 to get 1.4, meaning that each of our 5 pieces would be up 1.4. So that means over 1, up 1.4, over 1, up 1.4, over 1, up 1.4, and so on. So then once we marked our 5 pieces, our 5 portions here, we placed Q right here so that 2 pieces were from A to Q and 3 pieces were from Q to B. Then we had to go ahead and figure out where exactly Q was. So we worked backwards from A. We started with the X coordinate, which was 3. And we said 3, take away 2 steps of size 1 each. 3 minus 2 was 1. So the X coordinate for Q was 1, and that made sense on the graph. And then we went to the Y coordinate, which is 4. And we took away 2 steps of size 1.4 each, or a total of 2.8. 4 minus 2.8 is 1.2. We looked at our graph. Up 1.2, up to about right, between the 1 and the 2, pretty close to the 1. So our coordinates were 1, 1.2. All right, let's look at the next one. Here, we want to place Q along AB so that the ratio of AQ to QB is, in this case, 5 to 3. So if we want a ratio of 5 to 3, we need a total of 8 parts. So first, let's go ahead and mark off there's our delta X, our change in X, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then our delta Y, which is 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then we're going to divide each of those by 8. All right, to find out what the delta X and the delta Y for each of our individual small pieces will be. So let's see, 6 divided by 8 is the same as 3 divided by 4, which is 0.75. And let's see, oh, I did that in the wrong color. Oh, one moment. Okay, and 3 divided by 8 is 3.75, or 0.375, sorry. Okay, so that means that we're going to go, to make our 5 pieces, this will be a little tricky, they have to go over 0.75, up, our first point's right around there. 2 times 0.75 is 1.5, and up. And then 2.25, and up. And then 3, and up. That's not right. Yeah, I'm a little off. My picture isn't perfect. And then another 0.75, another 1.5, 2.25, and up. My marks aren't perfect, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them all together, and they're a little off. So we've got There's our... Love you too, babe. Okay. Here's kind of where our marks fall on this axis. And then if we go across, they're going to be very close together. And it's almost, pointless to draw these, so you wouldn't have to do that. I'm trying to illustrate, and really I'm just kind of making a mess. And these go up by 0.375 each. Alright, so we've got our 8 portions laid out. We need to be 5 to 3, so we need to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so Q goes right here. And since we worked backwards the other time, I'll work forwards this time. So we'll start with B. So we want to find, when we find our coordinates for Q. First we want to find X of Q, starting with B, it's -3, plus 1, 2, 3 steps of 0.75 each. So let's see, that gives us -3 plus 3 times 0.75 is 1.5, 2.25, which gives us -3 is -0.75 for our x coordinate. If we look here, that makes sense. We're just back a little ways from the origin, so that works. And then to find our y sub q, we're going to start with -1, and we're going to work forward plus 3 steps of 0.375 each. And so we've got equals. I should add my equals up here. Going back down here. That's -1 plus, oh, hold on a second. I need a calculator for this one. No, I'm not going to use a calculator. Let's see. 3 times 0.375. Let's see. 3, 375, 15, 21, 22, 9, 1.125. So let's see. -1 plus +1, 0.125 works out to positive 0.125. Switch bar 0 out front, so there we go. And let's take a look. If we look here for Q, it is just a pinch above the y-axis, so a slightly positive y works out. So our Q would have coordinates of -0.75, comma, positive 0.125. All right. All right, so I hope you tried that one out on your own before you watch the video, and I hope you got it right. And go ahead and try out the rest of them, and I will put post the full worksheet with all of its solutions and everything worked out, so you can double check and make sure that you're doing every step right. All right, good luck. Bye-bye.